Tony Khan is teasing something massive is happening. This is crazy. I feel like every week we're making a video. I'm going to tell you guys what I think it is. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong. We're going to share some of his words that he mentioned in an interview because these are his words. Something massive is happening. Also, in addition to that, an Impact Wrestling star, a former Impact Wrestling champion, is now leaving the company. No contract extension. Will AEW sign this individual? I think AEW is probably the most likely option because this person actually used to work for WWE as well. We're going to discuss that. Also, we're going to kick things off today. WWE bringing back Saturday Night Main Event. My name is Ango. For more videos like this, go ahead and subscribe. I'm actually really excited about this. Saturday Night's Main Event. So basically, here's the thing. WWE is going to have two house shows. Saturday, April 23rd in Montgomery, Alabama, and then April 30th in Lakeland, Florida. That's April 30th, and that's going to be at the RP Funding Center. Now, these are basically Raw house shows, but WWE is slated to bring back the Saturday Night's Main Event name for some of these events. So the belief is that WWE is actually going to start filming some of these shows for a premium live event on Peacock. So it doesn't necessarily mean a pay-per-view, but WWE is going to film occasional house shows from time to time with the branding Saturday Night's Main Event. Now, I'm actually really excited about this because I think house shows, WWE and AEW really aren't in the business of tours anymore. I mean, for the most part, it is a television-dominated business. They are making most of their money from television rights. So I think whenever there is a house show, one of the biggest changes I've seen from now, since wrestling has changed and evolved throughout the years, now house shows aren't really, they're really not that fun. They're less predictable. You don't get really like championship matches or title changes and whatever. I think since WWE and AEW don't really focus on house shows, AEW doesn't really do them. AEW, I think, should start doing them, especially because they have these TNT specials. I think from time to time you could do these house shows, and I think what you can do is televise them and occasionally have title changes, have things that, surprise the crowd. And I think this would actually get people the incentive to actually go and visit these shows. WWE comes to Detroit quite often. I've seen them for house shows. But at the end of the day, it's basically just a repeat of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. So I think this is actually a really cool way to get people excited again. And then, of course, with the branding Saturday Night's Main Event, I think it's going to be really cool to see what they do with it. Hopefully, there's a little bit more than just, let's throw it on Peacock. Maybe they can give it a nice little stage or, actual branding and presentation and stuff like that. But ultimately, this is like a cool thing by WWE. Anytime you could get extra wrestling, I think it's really cool. And because these are technically house shows, I mean, you are going to be expecting some of the bigger names. Becky Lynch, Bobby Lashley, Bianca Belair, Seth Rollins, Damian Priest, Kevin Owens. They are already being advertised. So pretty cool stuff. Guys, I want to talk about Rachel Ellering. If you don't watch Impact Wrestling, you may not understand who she is. She's actually the daughter of Paul Ellering, who was managing Authors of Pain in WWE. Rachel Ellering is actually a former NXT superstar as well. She went to Impact Wrestling, did some cool things there. If you don't watch Impact, I don't expect you to understand what she has done. She's not the biggest name in Impact, but she's been involved in some pretty cool things within the company in a short period of time. Now, she was actually supposed to be at the Ultimate X match for women, the first one, which was Hard to Kill. And for some reason, she was pulled out of it. I don't know if that was a COVID-related thing. I don't know if that was like an injury-related thing. But now she has come out and telling people that she is available for bookings. There is this belief after Fightful Select dropped this report that she is done with the promotion. There is this belief that Rachel Ellering is going to continue working the indies. I have also heard Rachel Ellering might be somebody that AEW brings in for AEW Dark, which could be really interesting. Rachel Ellering is definitely no Athena, Ember Moon. She's not a Taya Valkyrie. She's not a Mia Yim or a Toni Storm in terms of names. But she is a good wrestler, and AEW is looking to improve their women's division She's not going to be an expensive contract. I think putting her on AEW Dark allows you to kind of get a closer look at whether or not she would fit your company. AEW is making a lot of signings for their women's division, and these are low-cost contracts. So it wouldn't shock me if she did go to AEW Dark. I'm not really sure what the issue was with her and Impact. I don't know if there was a falling out, but the idea that she's not going to be used anymore and they didn't sign her to a new contract is very interesting. Things didn't work out with her in WWE. She spent most of her time in NXT injured. So I don't know if she is the most reliable in that regard, but obviously with wrestling and injuries, you can't control that shit either. So anytime somebody is given an opportunity, I think it's important at least to get the opportunity. We'll see what happens, but I do think AEW should give her a look, even if it's just for AEW Dark. Get an idea if this person can work good with your television program, and then maybe you could start bringing her in for television. And at the end of the day, there's so little TV time, but as far as the women's division goes, a lot of talent are going back to Japan, so you got to keep that in mind. All right, guys, and Tony Khan is at it yet again, this time on Busted Open Radio. Earlier today, Tony Khan was talking, and my God, Tony Khan is always teasing something. These videos sometimes feel repetitive, and I'm going to be honest with you. I try to be very realistic with my approach to how I view AEW. Let's read this quote from Tony Khan, and then I'm going to weigh in with why this is a bad thing. So Tony Khan says, there will be a lot of news in the week ahead. I don't know if it will get done by tonight, but stay tuned in the week ahead. Hopefully, I am working on something pretty big. It would be massive. I don't know if it's what anybody would expect it is or think it is, but it would be a big deal in pro wrestling. I am looking forward to hopefully making it happen. Stay tuned. Hopefully, I will get it done and have more to announce soon. So here's my issue. You're probably going to disagree. You might agree. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. But Tony Khan has this tendency to tease things. And I get it. Today, the world is reacting to Cody Rhodes leaving AEW. There's rumors of Cody going to Saudi Arabia for Elimination Chamber. There's rumors of Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns for WrestleMania 38. There is this belief that WWE has big plans for Cody Rhodes, and therefore Tony Khan wants to basically get a big reaction from the IWC. And by the way, AEW did around 860,000, roughly around that number, this past week on ratings. And I'm scared that AEW, when the ratings drop, I'm scared that AEW's ratings will drop if they don't have something massive happening. If they're not teasing a major announcement or a debut. My fear is that Tony Khan and AEW are becoming a little bit more reliant on these things to get that big pop, to get that ratings. And it scares me a little bit that he's become so reliant on this that he's really going to get lost when it comes to storytelling and getting people intrigued without it. And I'm not saying this as a place of like hatred or negativity. What I'm saying is AEW has a good product. You don't always need to pop the crowd. You don't always need to tease something massive. And here's the problem. When you use words like massive, you better be delivering something incredible. Because if you're not delivering something incredible, people won't believe you. And I'm really scared that this is becoming too repetitive with AEW, but I'm interested to see. I won't lie. Now I'm more intrigued. After this past week episode, I was like, it's kind of boring, right? It was good episode, but just like, it didn't feel as important as the week before. So yes, I understand. Now I'm a little bit more intrigued for this week, but what the hell is so massive, And again, if it's not massive, again, people are just going to get upset by it. So let's see what happens. But again, something massive is happening, and we'll talk about it as we get more details. I do believe it's going to be Jeff Hardy. I think somehow, some way, AEW is going to get Jeff Hardy in AEW. Plus, keep in mind, Cody Rhodes was let out of his contract early. There's always that possibility, that potential where maybe WWE, for getting Cody Rhodes out of his contract, maybe WWE lets them get Jeff Hardy. I don't know. Something. Who knows? What do you guys think? Drop a comment down below, and we'll talk about it soon.